This short video is going to explain a little bit about the rhetorical analysis. This will be a 2 to 3 page paper, at least 2 full pages, and you will have a works cited page at the end. The works cited page is not included in that 2 to 3 pages or 2 pages. Your third page can be your works cited page. The only source, it says here, the only source that you should even use for this essay is the movie speech that you choose. Because basically the rhetorical analysis is going to examine the effectiveness of a popular movie speech, and you can choose whatever movie speech you want. You can, if you know something off the top of your head, you can go and find the resource. Or I've provided this website right here, American Rhetoric, and it's just a compilation of movie speeches, and it goes all the way back, way back when, or contemporary movies. So you could certainly kind of peruse that and see what you can find, or you can go out on your own and look elsewhere, and that's fine too, YouTube or whatever. Keep in mind that we are analyzing. We are looking deeper than the surface. We are trying to figure out, what works, what doesn't work. What is the speaker of the speech? What strategies is that person or are that person using in order to persuade the audience, whoever their audience is. Let's see, organization, right down here. Consider this like a 5-paragraph essay where you have your introduction, your 3 body paragraphs, and your conclusion. However, you can have as many body paragraphs as you want or need. Just make sure they're developed, no one-sentence paragraphs, and make sure you have an introduction and conclusion. You have to have both. It's kind of like that hamburger where you have to have the top bun, the bottom bun, and all the good stuff in the middle. You have to have them to hold it together. So in your introduction, I've listed your tips and what you should include. You will establish the context that your movie speech is participating in. Tell me. When I created this module, I provided the actual video from Footloose with Ren McCormick, the teenager who was given his persuasive, argumentative speech to the town council about why his school should be able to have a prom. Now, most of us are like, if you've never seen the movie, you're not understanding why that's such a big deal. Why wouldn't they get to have a prom? But you need to give the context of the speech, which, Ren is a student from New York, I think is where he came from. And he's coming out to this rural community, and it's either New York or Chicago that he's from. But he comes in and he loves music and loves dancing, and then realizes that this town has passed a law and they ban music and dancing due to the fact that there were several teenagers that were killed in a car accident, and music and dancing evidently were accused to be having a part of it. So they banned it. So he's given his argument there. See how I've given some context? And that's what you want to do in your introduction. You want to give some context to the movie speech. Summarize here what is happening in your movie at this moment and what the speech is saying. Your thesis should assert whether or not the speech is effective and why, and how it relates to contemporary American culture. It needs to be persuasive or argumentative in nature, the speech does. And you need to understand who the speaker is and who that speaker's audience is. I'm not the audience. You're not the audience. Think about the audience in the movie and whether it's effective to those particular people, okay, or not. In your body paragraphs, out of the rhetorical appeals, which you'll need to make sure you look in the resources, and please mind you that all the resources are required. You need to go through those resources because they will help you understand the concepts needed for each module. But one particular link I provided explains the rhetorical appeals, and these appeals are used in any type of persuasion, persuasive writing, communication, whatever. But in general, people use logos, ethos, and pathos. Logos is appealing to logic by providing facts to prove your point. Ethos is dealing with ethics and what's right and what's wrong. And then pathos deals with emotions, tugging at those heartstrings, really playing that emotion card to get people to believe what you're saying. So you want to take your speech and say, okay, which one of these or 2 of these appeals are used, and you may find that all 3 appeals are used, and you can write about all 3 of them. That's completely fine. So there would be your 3 body paragraphs. But if you can only determine that there's 2 used, then you want to spend, like for instance, logos and ethos. Then maybe your first body paragraph is on logos used, and you're going to give examples of logos used within the movie speech and give specific quotes from the movie to prove your point. Then the next body paragraph will be, pathos, emotion, and explain how the speaker uses emotion to appeal to his or her audience. And then your third body paragraph may be just another strategy that you think that the speaker uses to prove their point. For instance, repetition, if the speaker repeats the same thing over and over. Is it the tone of voice that the speaker uses? Is it, a comparison that the speaker uses? So, there's several different strategies people can use when they're arguing a point. And you can choose 2 of these appeals to discuss and then your own strategy that you see present, or you can write about all 3 appeals and use those as your body paragraphs. But whenever you provide examples and short quotes from the speech, you're going to have to cite those, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. You need to use third person, no first person point of view. Okay. And if you're using the American Rhetoric website, the one I provided on the first page, here's how it should be cited within your paper, or on a works cited page, not within your paper. And then within your paper, it's right here. Okay. Ed Muller is the compiler of all of the movie speeches that are in this website. And so actually I've just created one. This is from the movie speech from Legally Blonde, her graduation speech. Some students choose to write about that one. That's fine. You could just copy and paste this. But if not, you're going to have to change this part to be the title of the movie speech that you are doing. Everything else is the same except for when you get here, you'll need to change that date to whatever date the movie came out. And then this is going to be the date that you accessed it. So this is going to be your works cited, and that's the only source you should have on your works cited page. And your works cited page should be on its own page, not at the end of your essay, on its own page at the end of your essay. Then when citing this source using quotes, it needs to look like this. Okay? So, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to email me or call me. Just understand that we are not analyzing or summarizing a movie. We are looking at a movie speech and its effectiveness or lack thereof. You may find one that's horrible, and you can give some really good reasons why it's horrible. And you can go that route as well. It might be a little bit more difficult, but you could certainly do that. So, again, if you have questions, just let me know. Thank you.